Hello.
Hi. All right,
Okay,
can
so
you
I'm not
please?
used to being on this side of the camera. So,
All right, please introduce us to yourself.
okay, so I'm Nadine Ford. I'm the founder and head coach for a local swim group known as Mahogany Mermaids.
So tell us, how did you even get started with this venture?
Um, I guess it was like in 2014. I I swam as a kid and I played around in college, but I never really learned to swim. So in 2014, I decided, it's time to learn to swim. So I took lessons and used to being in group activities, especially practice. So when it was time to practice, you're in the pool, you're kind of by yourself. Well, I got bored, so I started reaching out to friends. I'm like, hey, do you know how to swim? And they're like, a little bit. I want to learn. I want to learn. I was like, well, look, I'm taking lessons. Come on and join me, and we can practice what I learned in lessons. And from there, it just kind of grew. Like I would swim with people that knew how to swim, so the challenge would be, you get in the pool with them, like, okay, you catch me, you catch me. And I remember one woman, Kina House, she's so funny because she's really nice. She's like, come on, you can do it, you can catch me, you can catch me. And for weeks, I'm swimming behind her and I am like looking at her feet and I'm getting mad. Well, one day it clicked and I'm swimming and, in my head, I'm like, I'm never going to catch Kina. And I looked up and I was at her ankle. And then I heard the theme from Jaws kick in. Dun, 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 dun. So I caught up with her. And then after that, we started telling people, oh, yeah, we swim on Tuesday and Thursday at the Aquatic Center. Come and join us. And more people, more and more Black women actually started showing up. And then from there, it really just grew.
So what do you think is the difference between teaching a child how to swim versus teaching an adult how to swim?
You know, it's a few things. A child usually they don't have that fear or they don't have the
Hmm.
baggage. So they just want to get in. However, with adults, they'll have determination. So they may have that fear, but it's like, you know what, I want to learn to do this. So they get in there and do it. Adults, obviously, for the most part, will listen more than children. Um, but it's rewarding on both ends. I've taught from 6 months up to 60 years. And it's once well, 6 months, they don't know. They just happen to be here. But like when you
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
1 year olds and they get in that deep water and they realize what they can do, or if you get a had a group 2 weeks ago, grown women, professionals, they learned how to tread water in 10 feet. They were just like the kids. It's like this freedom came across them and they didn't want to get out the pool. And I'm like, y'all, I've got to go. I've been here all day. I'm tired. So yeah.
What a rewarding job you have. That's so cool. Okay. How does swimming help gain confidence in your life?
It's it really depends on where you come from. Like for me, I grew up around swimming. I grew up around water. I think the only person I knew who didn't swim was my mom, but she wasn't afraid of water. For other people who may have had experiences in life where somebody drowned or they almost drowned or they're having something holding them back, when they get in that water and they, like I say, especially in the deep end, when they can jump in, resurface, tread water, even if it's just for 20 seconds, and then swim 25 yards, which is what we require, it's like this huge accomplishment because this may have been something that held them back their whole life. It may have been, we have coaches who have had relatives drown, like dead from swimming. And for them to pass it on to someone, their knowledge on to someone now to prevent that, it's amazing. So it's just a bunch of little stuff that kind of adds up to it.
Where did you come up with the title Mahogany Mermaids?
So everyone knows that if somebody swims and they're a woman, they're a mermaid. Um, and which is cute. One day I had to get my swim bag because I'm in the South and we put our initials and get everything monogrammed. So it's time to
Yup.
get my bag monogrammed. And when I went to get it, the guy was like, what do you want? And I know I wanted something mermaid. And I was sitting there, it's just like one of those things. It's like, mahogany, because I like the movie Mahogany. Mahogany Mermaids. And he was like, okay. And well, it was Mahogany Mermaids because I was the only one. And then from there it just kind of grew.
I love
So now we're
that.
Mahogany Mermaids.
So I was looking through your Instagram, And do you farm? Do you like grow your own plants and your vegetables and stuff?
Yes, yes. I am a urban farmer, urban gardener, however you want to call it.
How long have you been doing that for?
Oh, my whole life. That was one of the things my grandmother on my mom's side, my maternal grandmother, grew up on a farm. She was self-sustaining, so they only left to get sugar and cloth. My paternal grandmother was an herbalist, so it was. I think the first time I can remember doing my own planting, I was probably 7 years old. You know, so but you know,
That's,
yeah,
I
I've
love how you saying
always
it so
had.
nonchalantly. It's no big deal.
Well, I mean, because we've always had like, we live in the city, in Charlotte, probably 3 miles from down. Well, we used to be 3 miles from downtown, but we've always had. It was me and my uncle, or my mom and her brothers, some type of like, we had the vegetables and the chickens. I had one uncle that had an entire farm. I swear he had an entire farm in his backyard. We used to joke that when he died, who was going to take over his property. He had chickens and peacocks, quails. He had pet squirrels, all kinds of fruit trees. And again, this was, hop the fence, walk around the corner to his house. Eggs. I didn't know how to buy store-bought eggs, so I went to college. It was like, oh, because we never had to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very interesting. So another thing on your Instagram is a lot of your members have medals because they compete. So is that one of the goals in your program where it's kind of mandatory to compete
No, no, no,
or
no, no, no. So we get a lot of triathletes, um,
hmm
and runners. So that's where they get the medals from. We we're starting a competition team with the swimmers in 2021. We would have had one this year, but
yeah.
no, it's not. It's totally optional if you want to compete. For the most part, it's really just socialization and swimming and reclaiming our heritage. It is mandatory that the black part of the aquatic swim, and we talk about
Why is breath so important in your stroke?
breath
Yeah.
because you drown. So, um, I mean, it's the breath. It's number one, when you breathe in, that's part of what keeps you buoyant because your lungs are in your back. So if you're doing a freestyle, you want to get that breath, keep your lungs buoyant. You want to breathe out to release lactic acid build up. Um, I mean, it's just like any other sport. You have to get the oxygen flow and that breath in order to keep going. The thing with swimming is people get hung up because when their face is in the water,
Yeah.
they want to hold their breath because they're
Yeah.
afraid of sucking in air. But if you hold your breath, then you pass out. And then either which way, if you pass out, you're gonna breathe automatically. But it also causes you to relax and we tell people once especially when they start getting tired, new people, that's what you can see. That's when they hold their breath. And I'll tell them, let out a big thing of air, flip on your back, catch your air back, do what you need to relax, and then turn back over and start swimming.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. What are some of the most important safety measures to keep in mind when swimming?
You don't drown. Um, okay. You, I'll say the biggest safety measure is stay within your lane, literally and figuratively. I mean, if I'm perfecting my breaststroke hit. Right now is very tiresome to me. So when I'm out there, that's not something I would do by myself in the pool because I may catch a cramp doing it if I hadn't stretched properly or hydrated. If I catch a cramp, it could be bad news. So
Mm.
you never want to swim by yourself. You definitely never want to swim when you're tired. Um, and be aware of your surroundings. If I'm out swimming in open water, then I have to dress appropriately. I want to make sure I have my buoy on so the boats swim going by can see me. If it's cold water, I want to make sure I have on my wetsuit. If I'm in the pool, um, I want to make sure that there's no electrical units anywhere by. So it's I would say the biggest one was two big ones. Never swim by yourself, and yeah, don't swim when you're tired. Yeah, those two for the now.
So you touched on this a little bit earlier. You said the importance of swimming in the culture. Can you elaborate on that if you don't mind?
Yeah, no, I love to. So a lot of people have, they hear, oh, well, black people don't swim, black people can't swim,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
And all that really came about post Jim Crow. Pre Jim Crow era, we were swimming. When the Portuguese went to Africa, they saw these tribes of men and women just flowing in the water with ease. Um, in fact, mermaids came from the black women that the non-blacks would see. They were like, they I don't know the whole following, but they were calling them mermaids. And they because well, that's a whole different situation. But anyway, we are aquatic nation. We are aquatic culture. When we were brought to this country, and even for those who are indigenous to this country, swimming was natural, getting in the water because we were so connected to the earth. We got our food from the water. We we found treasures in the water. Even if you listen to the spirituals that have wade in the water. I laid my troubles down by the riverside. The Ohio River was the original Underground Railroad. A slave by the name of Tice Davis running away to his freedom, he jumped in, he swam. His colonizer was like, he just took the Underground Railroad, the Ohio River. If you look, most slave getaways involved some type of water so that the hounds wouldn't catch their scent. Harriet Tubman, she ran alongside of a water because it was directional. So it wasn't until Jim Crow when the white people were like, hey, we don't want these black men in the water with our precious white women, that this myth of, well, black people can't swim. And these are all the reasons why started popping up. Even with our hair, they'll tell women, oh, well, you can't swim because of your hair. But you never hear them say, well, you can't swim because of your skin. We know how to
Yeah.
take care of our skin. We get ashy, we put lotion on. But we've been led to think, oh, I don't know how to do with my hair post swim. Honey, this is my hair post swim. It's braided up, it's moisturized. I'm good to go. If I need to pop out somewhere, I take my hair down. If because I love my hair, however my hair looks is how my hair looks. I'm not going to let other people's issues with my hair affect me. But we've been so cultured that, oh, well, her hair look like, yeah, well, so what? What does that mean? But all that being said, we work to let people to reclaim what's in our DNA, which is being aquatic.
Wow. What state are you located in?
North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh man, that's more incentive to go to North Carolina now because there's this meditation retreat that I really want to attend, but the way COVID's set up, it's on my list though, and I definitely want to come and swim with you if you wouldn't mind one week.
Yeah, no. Which retreat is it?
What is it called? Convergence lifestyle.
Okay.
It's either North or South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Which, but I definitely that's on my to-do list. Hopefully, maybe 2021, 2022. Let's see how COVID works. Okay,
Okay.
so where can we like you, stalk you, follow you, all that fun stuff?
Um, well, we're on Instagram. Oh, I think we're what? M Mermaid Swim.
In Mermaid
Um,
Swim.
because there are two Mahogany Mermaids. One is a STEM group, and she has the brown silhouette with the green crown. Yeah, we both started at the same time, but she just beat me to the trademark of the name, the federal trademark. So we're trademarked within our state. But yeah, MM Swim, M Mermaid Swim on Instagram, or Mahogany Mermaids on Facebook. I have to remember these things.
Because the reason why I even saw your program is I was I was at brunch, and on the TV I was just saw these black women swimming, and I was like, what is this? And I was just so curious. So that's so funny how like life works like that. Okay, last question, then I'm gonna let you go. What's the difference between passion and purpose, or is there even a difference?
Oh man, really? That's a good one. I don't know. I mean, that's. I would say, like for me, there is. I think once you find your purpose, there's a passion to it. So, like
Right.
I told you, and you know, this is all voluntary for me and the coaches. We don't get paid. We just, yeah, we just get out there, and we've been doing this now for 2014. We just get out there and teach people. We want to see not just Black people swim, but we also want to see Black people know their culture when it comes to aquatics. I just, I can sit here. That's why I don't do a lot of TV interviews, because I'll go off and I'm like, this is what it is, and we ain't gonna go there today, but because of that passion, I've made it my purpose to really reach out. Even if I don't teach you how to swim, I'm going to teach you about Black swim and Black culture, because I get so irritated with people. Oh, well, and I actually got put off of a Facebook page once because the ladies were like, well, swimming is not natural for me. Oh, yeah. After about a paragraph and a half later, I get I didn't get put off, but the post was deleted, and I got a really nice email. Maybe I got a phone call from the admin, and they were like, we don't want, this is a multicultural thing, and we don't want to offend anybody. And that went into the whole, oh, but I can learn their history, but they can't learn mine kind of situation. But again, that's for another podcast. But all that being said, yeah, for me, it is one and the same. Once I, even with growing, my passion is growing. My purpose is to, when we do our gardens, they're all southern based, southern rural based. So it's all heirlooms. My passion is to connect us back to where we came from, back to our roots. It could be whether you're indigenous here, or you know where you came from in Africa, or any step along the way, you know, learn it, appreciate it. Don't get so whitewashed that you have to think otherwise.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's another story for a different day. We can
I
do this
really
all day.
appreciate you taking out the time to talk to me, Nadine. This
Let me
was
know when.
very educational. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll message you later, okay?
Okay, that'll work.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.